Welcome to this EOSH video that will cover lead SOP4. In this SOP, we'll be covering drilling into materials coated with lead paint using the Milwaukee or similar attachment. One of the very first thing you must do is print out this SOP and have it on hand. The reason why is so that you can follow each step clearly to ensure proper procedures are being done. Next thing you must do is you want to find out whether you have an NID in place. NID stands for Negative Initial Determination. There is a big difference whether you have NID in place or you do not have NID in place. The big difference between whether you have NID in place is if you do not have an NID in place, there are a lot of additional precautions that must take place, such as ear monitoring, wearing a respirator, wearing Tyvek suits, amongst other things. Additionally, you must also notify your CECM for further assistance if this is the case. In this video, we will be doing this procedure with an NID in place. I repeat, with. And because there is an NID in place, all those additional precautions that I just spoke about does not need to happen. So afterwards, what you want to do is you want to ensure that there is an approved WRR in place and have that printed out, because eventually you will need to post this WRR in the work area so that people in the building understand it is approved to work and what that work entails. Next, that WRR will also let you know whether you need to modify the building's HVAC system or even possibly shut it off. Also, it will discuss whether you need to follow additional lockout tagout procedures as well. Once you have all that situated, what you want to do is you want to restrict the access to the work area, such as having caution tape or warning signs or any type of barrier to secure and that area where you're working to not allow people into the work area. Next thing you want to do is you want to, if you're working above the work area, you want to have 6 mil poly on hand so that you can cover any type of carpet surfaces, fabric surfaces, or employee workstation, so you don't get any type of dust and debris on those areas. Next thing you want to do is you want to properly inspect all your equipment, ensure you have it. Equipments that you might need is going to be the drill, obviously, and the Milwaukee attachment you will need. Additionally, you'll need the waste bag where you're going to generate waste, spray bottle with water, and also you'll need wet wipes and your HEPA vacuum. The next thing you want to ensure is that you want to ensure you have your proper PPE. At a minimum, the PPE that you will need will be safety glasses and you will need gloves at a minimum. There might be additional PPE that you might need too as well, such as safety shoes, hearing protection, hard hats, or even possibly fall protection. It all depends on the hazards that you might be encountering. Next thing you want to do is you want to inspect the vacuum for damage. So you want to look at the hose to ensure that it is intact. There are no holes or breach in it. And then you will want to open up the HEPA vacuum, make sure that the filters are there, it's working, it's plugged in, there are no holes or breaches, and ensure it is in working condition. Next you want to do is you want to inspect the Milwaukee attachment too as well. There's 2 parts to it. There's the Milwaukee part and then there's a connection means. You want to inspect both parts to ensure it is in operating condition. And then what you want to do is that you want to pre-clean the work area. You want to pre-clean the work area. And to pre-clean the work area, there's going to be HEPA vacuuming and then there's going to be wet wiping. So we're going to begin with the HEPA vacuum. Now we are going to do the wet wipe. And we're going to put any type of waste generated into the designated waste bag. Next thing we want to do is we want to connect the Milwaukee attachment to the HEPA vacuum. Sometimes the connection might be loose depending on the hose that you're using, and you might need to have duct tape to wrap around it to ensure that it's not going to come off. In this case, it's secured pretty well, and we do not need the duct tape. But have that in hand because you might possibly need it. Next thing you want to make sure is you want to have a spray bottle because you want to minimize, you want to keep it wet constantly, and you want to spray it with water to make sure you want to minimize any type of dust or debris that's going to be generated. You also want to make sure that you want to mark out that spot where you want to drill. So this is the area where there's lead paint. I'm going to mark it out with a marker, and then you can have your equipment ready for use. So I'm going to spray it down. So now it's all wet. I have my HEPA filter. I have my drill that I'm going to use, and now I'm going to turn it on now. One thing that I want to make sure that you want to make sure you do is that before you start drilling, you want to drill it at low speeds. I repeat, at low speeds. The reason why is because if you drill at high speeds, you're going to have increased amount of dust and debris generation, and you want to minimize that. That's why you want to do it at slow speeds. Additionally, you also want to make sure you leave the HEPA filter on with the Milwaukee attachment for about 10 to 20 seconds. The reason why is so that you ensure any type of debris is properly vacuumed into the HEPA filter. Another thing you also want to do is while it's on, you want to make sure you extend the hose above the HEPA filter to ensure that any type of debris gets sucked into the HEPA vacuum. Okay, so let's begin the work. The work area is already wet, so we're going to spray it down. And then we are going to turn our HEPA vacuum and we are going to drill that hole that we need. Now that the work is done, we want to decontaminate the tools that we're using. So we're going to want to decontaminate the Milwaukee attachment, and we want to decontaminate the drill with our wet wipes. Remember, any type of waste generated goes into your designated waste bag. Once you are done, you want to ensure that your waste bag is properly labeled, and you want to make sure you keep it in an area so that you can give it to your SECUM for ultimate disposal. So after everything is decontaminated, what you want to do is you want to put away your HEPA vac. So if you put away HEPA vac, all you want to do is disconnect the hose, make sure you have that end cap, and you want to cap the HEPA filter, and you're going to open it, and you'll place the hose, electric cord, and anything on the top part, and then close it up for future use. Next thing you want to do is you want to remove any type of PPE that you're wearing, so it'll be my gloves, and place that in the designated waste bag. And then what you want to do is you remove any type of caution tape that you have or any type of signs that you isolate the area with. So you want to remove it because the work is done, and you want to seal up your designated waste bag, put it at a designated location, or give it to your SECUM for disposal, and then the work is being done. This is it for the video. If you have any questions, please let your instructor know. Thank you.